A warm welcome to today's session, kids. This is Hershey, your science mentor. Today I am back with the chapter number 2, which is Sorting Materials into Group of your course book Science Horizon, Class 6 by Amit Publishing House. So let's see what we are going to learn in this chapter. The topics that we are covering are materials around us, properties of that materials, and how are the materials grouped. So let's start with the chapter, kids. Have you noticed that our food and clothes have so much variety in them, right? So we wear different kinds of clothes. Some people like to wear suits, saris, socks, right? Turbans, mittens in winter, caps, trousers, shirts. The huge list we have. And the different types of food, fruits, cereals, right? Vegetables, so many things we have to eat. Now, not just food and clothes, there is such a vast variety of objects everywhere. If you look in your room around yourself, you'll find lot many things, right? You just have seen innumerable things in your surroundings, right, kids? Those look different and have different properties. The things that surrounds us have different properties and different from each other. They look different, right? So what are these things made of? We'll discuss. These things are made of what material and what all are the properties and why we should use this material to make this product, right? So, materials around us, right? Look around your room, you may find a bed, chair, table, cupboards, clothes, so many things. Food materials like water, milk, vegetables. Classroom, you will find the chalks, the boards, dusters, so many things, tables, AC, right? So now look around the playground. You play in the playground, right? So what you'll find there? You'll find the grass, the plants, grass, cemented roads, grills, so many things you find around yourself. Now what do you understand from all these observations? So let's see what the things are made up of. It tells us that there are many kinds of materials in the world. Some of these are living and some are non-living, right? All of these have different shapes, different colors and different uses also. We use the things as per our need, right? These have different shapes, color and uses, and maybe these are made up of one or more than one material, right? Such as steel, wood, plastic, cotton, paper, leather, etc. Right? So several objects are made up with the combination or it is made up with the single material. Let's see. Pencil. Take example of pencil. It is prepared with the wood and the lead is combination of clay and graphite. So paint is also there, like your pencils are so colorful, so it is painted with the colors. So again it is a material. So all together these materials made what? It made your pencils, right? So similarly, the things are made up either with one material or with the combination of different materials. So let's see what are the properties of materials, right? So we use a particular material for making a particular thing. For example, we use steel and copper for making utensils, right? We have utensils in which we cook and we eat. So the utensils are made up with different materials like steel, copper, aluminum, even glass, right? Can we use paper or cloth for the same? Just imagine, kids, can we make utensils with paper? Why so? Tell me. Why so it is not possible? It is not possible because the paper will catch the fire, right? If you keep it, if the utensils is made up with the paper or with the cloth, and if you are putting it onto the burner, what will happen? It catch the fire. You would not be able to cook in this, right? And imagine, can you eat food in the paper or in the cloth? Is it so? No, it is not possible. So, materials are different, right? And their properties are different. And because of this, we are using different kinds of material in making different things. And enough to hold the food properly. If again, let's take the example of utensils only. If it is made with paper and cloth, what will happen? It is not able to hold the food and it will catch fire, right? So the property of material that decides where and how we need to use it in the appropriate manner. This is very important, kids. So let's see the properties of material. Now we know that the things are made with some material. Till here we are clear. The things that surrounds us or around us are made up with the different kinds of materials. So let's see what all are the properties. Mainly we have grouped them into two. First is physical properties and the second is chemical properties. In this class, we will learn about the physical properties only of the materials and the chemical properties will be taught to you in the higher classes, right? So let's see the physical properties. Physical properties include appearance of the material, hardness, solubility, flotation, heaviness and transparency. These are some physical properties of a material. Don't worry, we will discuss in detail one by one, right? So let's see what all are the chemical properties. We will not discuss a lot about the chemical properties in this class. We will learn it in the higher class, but you should know the name. Chemical properties include the behavior of the material towards different chemicals and chemical reactions, right? In chemistry, we will learn the different chemical reaction, right? For example, reaction with oxygen, water, acid, combustion, burning, etc., right? Here we will discuss about the physical properties only. So let's start with the physical properties of material. First is appearance. Now kids, tell me if you are looking any kind of product or material, you can identify with the appearance, how it looks, right? From the, like, if you have a gold coin and if you have a silver coin, can you identify it? Yes, gold coin and silver coin can be identified easily just by looking at them, right? So, if you have a plastic water bottle and if you have a glass water bottle, can you identify this? Again, it is very simple to identify just looking at them. However, some features are common in the appearance of some substances like gold and brass look. But kids, the materials are different. They look different, but the properties are different. We are just identify them with their appearance, right? Gold is golden in color, silver is silver in color, right? And the properties are again different. But gold is golden in color and brass is also golden in color, right? For example, gold and brass look yellow and shiny. They have shine in them, right? Materials. The natural shine present on the surface of certain material is called what? It is called luster. Yes, we call it luster. Now, in science, we will not call it shine, we will call it luster. And these materials are said to be lustrous. The materials that have shine are called lustrous material, whereas the materials lacking with shine are called what? They are called non-lustrous materials. Now can you identify with the shine? Right? The materials that have shine, we can say these materials are lustrous, and the metals that don't have shine are called non-lustrous materials. Now, some important facts about luster are all the metals, right? The things that have made up with metals have luster in them, right? They are shiny, but it does not mean that all the materials have luster. There are some materials that don't have luster in them. All the non-metals and non-lustrous with the exception of iodine, graphite and diamond. Diamond, iodine and graphite are some kinds of what? They are non-metals. They are not metals. As we have discussed that all the metals have luster, right? But there are some metals, or you can say non-metals, they don't have luster. And these are iodine, graphite and diamond. Diamond has luster, but it is not a metal. Now you understood? Diamond has what? It is luster, but it is not a metal. Some metal lose their luster when exposed to the air, hence such metals objects are polished to prevent their direct contact of air, right? What happens when we keep the metals into the air? When the metal is reacting with the air, or you can say the moisture. Moisture, you all know, moisture is water vapor that is present in the air. When it is reacting with the metal, it loses its luster, right? So, some metal loses its luster as time passes. So, these are prevent for or to keeping this luster, we keep them polishing. There are some kind of polish that we need to apply on that materials or metals to prevent to contact with the air. We are just stopping the reactions. We are not stopping the reaction. Rather, we are giving the luster back to that metal, right? So now you can see in this picture shining objects. This is the copper or the utensils that are made up with the steel. The steel and copper are having luster in it. So you can see these are materials that have lusters. Now non-shining material, wood, and this is the bottle, the plastic bottle. It is not having luster, right? So now next property of a material, it is hardness. How hard it is. It is hard, that is only we make some things with these materials, right? So if we try to compress the object, if we try to compress it, if you want to press it, what will happen? You find some substances are easy to compress and some substances that are very hard to compress. जब आप उसको ऐसे प्रेस करके you'll find when you press it, if it is compressing, अगर वो दब जाएगा, then it is soft. These materials are soft, and if you are compressing it, it is not being done, means the material is hard, right? So cotton is the most compressible, right? If you take a piece of cotton and you press it, it compresses very easily. So it is very soft. Means it is the least hardness, where the stone, if you compare it with the, you have taken the cotton and on the other hand you have a stone. If you compress it, you can easily identify which is soft and which is hard, right? So this is called the compressibility. So it is hardest for wood. If we take two substances, both of which are hard, such as wood and stone, wood and stone, both are the hard materials, right? If you press it, you won't be able to press it, right? But what happens if you have two hard materials with you? How you can identify which is more harder, right? You rub these two materials together and you will get the scratches on wood, right? So wood is not as much hard as stone is, right? Have you understood, kids? Very good. Now let's move to the some important facts about hardness. Only solid possesses the property of hardness, right? Liquid and gases would be having the hardness. No, only solid things have hardness, right? Now, talc, which is used to make the talcum powder, is the softest substance, right? Diamond is the hardest substance, but it is not a metal. Diamond is not a metal, but it is the hardest substance, and the talc that is being the talcum powder is being made with the talc, right? It is the softest substance. Now, soluble and insoluble. Again, the property of a material, soluble or insoluble, right? Solubility of solids in water. Now, what does solubility, kids? If you add some sand into water taken in a transparent glass and you have left it for some time, what will you observe? Take a glass and fill it with the water, put some sand into it and stir it well. So what you'll find? This time it is dissolved, but if you keep it for some time or let it rest for some time, what will happen? The sand will be settled down, right? And you'll find the water in the glass. So does the sand mix with the water completely? No. No, it is the two layers. One is the layer of sand and other is the layer of water. So it is not dissolving. मतलब मिलाना. Dissolve means घुलना, right? So sand is not dissolved completely in the water, right? Now, if you mix, take another glass and fill it with water. Now you add some salt or sugar into it, right? Add salt into it and mix it well. What will happen? You will observe that the salt is dissolved completely into water, isn't so? Salt is dissolved completely in the water, but sand, it is not dissolved, right? So, these are two different solution we have made. Solution is what, kids? Solution means after when you add two substances like salt and water, when you mix it, the salty water is called the solution, right? So you mix it water, both the ingredients, you will get the salty water. Now let's see what is solution, solubility, solvent and substance, right? So solution is a uniform mixture of two or more substances out of which any of its component cannot be identified it separately. So solution. Similar, you can make this sugar solution, you can make the salt solution, right? We make lemonades like it. We mix the lemon juice, sugar and some salt into it, right? And then we stir it and the lemonade is made. So this is called the solution. So your lemonade is basically a solution because it is the mixture of salt, sugar and water. So solution is a uniform mixture, means you cannot separate the sugar. These things can be separated. We'll see the separation methods also. But here, this is the mixture. Uniform mixture means you cannot identify the salt separately. You cannot identify the sugar separately, right? It is mixed well in the water. So this is called the solution. Now, the property of substance to get thoroughly dissolved when added to another substance like water, it is called the solubility. So salt is soluble in water. Yes, it is soluble. Sugar is soluble in water. Yes, it is soluble in water. So this, if the substance means any material or product that can be dissolved easily in the water or other liquids, so this is called solubility, right? So this is the solubility of salt, right? Not the water. Solubility of salt and solubility of sugar and other substances too, right? So this is called solubility, means वो घुलता है या नहीं घुलता है. So this shows it is soluble in water or it is not soluble in water, and we call it solubility. Have you understood, kids? Solubility and solution. So let's see. In a solution, the substance present in the small amount is called solute, and the present in the larger quantity, it is called the solvent, right? So water is a solvent and sugar or salt is a solute in it, right? What the substance which is in the large quantity like water or any other liquid, we also mix sugar in the milk. We also add sugar, milk in water when we are preparing tea, right? So tea is a solution, and water, sugar, tea leaves, they are what? They are solute because we are mixing it and the solution is made. Tea is prepared, right? So solute, you can say sugar and salt, and the water is solution. So the larger quantity, water is solvent, and the mixture of salt and water, it is called solution. Now the last is a substance that dissolves completely in the solvent. It is called soluble, and that does not dissolve, it is insoluble. The things, the substances that can be dissolved are called soluble, and that are not dissolving or not getting dissolved in the water and any other liquid, it is called insoluble. जो चीजें घुल जाती हैं वो soluble है, जो चीजें खुलती नहीं है, dissolve नहीं होती हैं, वो क्या होती हैं? These are insoluble. Got it, kids? Now you know the meaning of soluble and insoluble. What is solubility? What is solvent, right? What is solute and what is solution, right? Got it, kids? Now, let's move to the water is called the universal solvent. Why it is called universal solvent? Because it dissolves a large number of substances in it, right? So, it is called the universal solvent. Now, you know solvent in which we dissolve the other substances or solute, right? Now, solubility of liquids in water. Some liquids may also soluble in water while some may not. Although it is called universal solvent, water is universal solvent, but still there are some substances that are not dissolving into water. Those liquids which mix thoroughly with water are called miscible liquids, like milk. If we add milk into water, it completely dissolves or not? It dissolves. If you add vinegar, few drops of vinegar into water, it will again get dissolved completely, right? So these are called miscible liquids, and the substances that are not dissolving completely are called immiscible liquids, such as oil, kerosene, petrol, etc. Right? If you have a glass of water, transparent, take a transparent glass of water and pour some coconut oil or mustard oil, any oil which is available to you, you'll find that there are two separate layers. One is water and the oil is the upper layer in the glass, right? Why it happens? Because oil is lighter than water. So you'll find two layers, water is left behind and the upper layer, the second layer is water and the upper layer is the oil, right? So oil, kerosene, petrols, all these are immiscible liquids, right? The liquids that are completely dissolved in water are called miscible liquids, and the liquids that are not dissolved in water are called immiscible liquids. Have you understood, kids? Miscible and immiscible? Very good. So such as separate layer over the water surface. Let's check it out. So you can do this at your home also, right? Now, next is solubility of gases in water. So, not only liquids or solids that can dissolve in water, even gases also can dissolve in water. Like we have three states of materials: the gas, solid, gases, solid, and liquid forms, right? Solid can be dissolved in water, liquids also. Now let's see the gases. Gases also gets dissolved in water. Some are soluble and some are not. Most of the gases are insoluble in water. मतलब वो नहीं घुल सकती है gases. ज़्यादातर gases, most of the gases are insoluble, but some gases are slightly soluble in water. So let's see what all are these gases. For example, hydrogen, nitrogen and carbon monoxide are insoluble in water, but oxygen and carbon dioxide are soluble, not completely, it is slightly soluble in the water. So that is why the aquatic animals like fishes and other animals, they can survive in the water because they also need oxygen to breathe, right? So oxygen is dissolvable and the carbon dioxide is again soluble in water but slightly, not completely. But gases like hydrogen, nitrogen and carbon monoxide, these gases are completely insoluble. ये नहीं घुलती हैं पानी में, but oxygen and carbohydrate gets dissolved, right? So this survive the help of the oxygen dissolved in water. So this is helpful for the aquatic life because oxygen is dissolving in the water. Aquatic animals can breathe under the help of the carbon dioxide. Aquatic plants can perform photosynthesis too, because we have studied that plants also grow in water, right? They are also preparing their food, right? So they are also doing the photosynthesis. We know that all the plants do this. This process happens in all the plants, right? For photosynthesis, they need carbon dioxide and they releases oxygen, right? So carbon dioxide is again slightly can be dissolved in water. Now next is objects that may float or sink in the water. Sink means डूब जाएंगे, float means ऊपर तैरेंगे, right kids? In activities of 5 and 6, we saw that sand settle down on the bottom of water, whereas oil stands over the surface of water. So we have, when we were studying about the solution, solvent, solute, right? We mix the sand in the water, right? So what we see in that? We see that sand settle down at the bottom and oil, it floats on water. It happens because oil is lighter in weight than water and sand is heavier. So the objects that are heavier will sink and the objects that are lighter will float on the water. So let's see what it says. We say that sand sinks in the water and oil floats on the water. We have just discussed because oil is lighter and sand is heavier than water, right? So the objects that are heavier will sink down or settle at the bottom of the water and the things that are lighter will float on the water. So this shows the materials are floating or sinking. The heaviness of object is also known as density in scientific term. We call it the more the object is heavy, we'll say the object is dense, and the less it is light in weight, it has the less density. So heaviness is known as density in size. So we can say that object having more density, the water will then it will sink in the water, and the objects that are less density, they have the less density, will float in the water. So have you understood this? The density, what is density and why the things float on water and sink in water, right? So next is transparency. Now we can identify the materials with the transparency. Transparency means आप उसके आर पार कितना देख पाते हैं, right? So we know that air is a matter like all other things around. Air surrounds us. Air is everywhere. But just imagine that, are you able to see the things clearly? Although air is present here also, but you can see me clearly, right? Air is present with you also, around you, right? You are able to see the things. Why it happens? Because air is transparent. It is allowing the light to pass. Alright? So it is allowing the light to pass. So that is why the things are visible to us, and these are called transparent things, right? But some materials are there that don't allow to pass the light, right? If you worn a bed sheet on your face, right? So can you see through it? Can you see through the bed sheet? No. If you have a wooden door in front of you. Can you see what is on the other side? No, it won't allow you, right? So these are called opaque objects, right? But some materials are there that allow you to see little bit or see through it, right? But not completely. You know what is there, but you cannot see it completely. So these are called translucent objects. Let's see what it says. The air that surrounds it, it is transparent because we can see it clearly. If we cover ourselves with a bed sheet, can we see anything around us? You are lying on your bed and you have covered your face with the bed sheet. Are you able to see the things? No, because it is not transparent. So air is covering all us at the time. Still we can see something that is present around us. Why this happens? Because air allows us to see the things near us, right? But bed sheet does not. So this is so because air allow light to pass. जिन चीजों से light pass हो जाएगी, you would be able to see, and जिनसे light pass नहीं हो पाएगी, you won't be able to see, right? So it is said to be transparent. Air is transparent. So transparency is the property of a material that let the light pass through it and one can see clearly out of it, right? So now try to look through various materials. Just have a cardboard in front of you, right? Are you able to see what is there? Are you able to look through it? No, you won't be able to look through it. So some materials like plastic, glass windows, pane, glass tumblers, etc. They are transparent objects, right? Now see all through many of them of examples: a wooden board, steel tumbler, wall, table, chair. You won't be able to look out of them, right? So these are called not transparent, or you can say these materials are opaque, right? These are opaque. I'll tell you opaque materials, right? And the materials that do not allow us to see through them, these are called opaque materials. Why it is happening, kids? Because light is not passing through these objects, right? So that is why you are not able to see. And the materials that allow you to see partially, it is called translucent objects like glass, tissue paper, etc. If you apply some oil onto the paper, right, you would be able to these are the type of translucent material. You are able to see through it but not properly, right? So the materials that allow you to see are called transparent materials. Materials that don't allow you to see through it is called opaque materials, and the materials that allow you to see through it but partially are called translucent materials. Have you understood, kids? Right? So let's move on to the next property. Here you can see the picture of transparent object. It is the transparent tumbler. Maybe it is made up with glass or the plastic, right? Now translucent material, it is not, you are able to see the fingers here but not completely. And the opaque material, you are not able to see through these materials, right? And this happens because of the light. Now, how are the materials probed? Now, the next question, we have discussed various properties. We have discussed about the physical properties, not the chemical properties. The properties like luster, hardness, solubility, flotation and transparencies. We have also studied the materials can be grouped by the placing the object of similar properties into the group. We can group them easily. These are transparent objects. These are translucent objects. These are opaque objects, right? We can also group like these are soluble in water. These are not soluble in water or insoluble in water, right? We can group them like these are hard, these are soft, right? We have grouped according to their physical properties. These properties can be used to classify materials into various groups like hard and soft, lustrous and non-lustrous, transparent, translucent and opaque, and many more such kind of. So these are, but the question why we need to group the materials, right? When you go to a shop in the market, you see that the things are organized in well. Otherwise, what will happen? You are asking a biscuit and the shopkeeper is searching here and there, right? So what will happen? It will take time. It is not convenient, right? You need to wait for some time. Till then, he would be searching the biscuit of your choice. So they are organized to avoid such hassle. They are organizing the things. This is the biscuit section. This is the drink section, right? So all kinds of biscuits are kept in this shelf. Different types of biscuit, the chocolate biscuits, the milk biscuit, the glucose biscuit, they are kept in a different cupboard or in the different shelf, right? And here the drinks, all kinds of like the buttermilk is there, the flavored milk, the cold drinks, the juices, it is kept in one shelf. So it would be very easy for shopkeeper to search your desired product, right? And similarly, we do in our home also. All the kitchen related things are in the kitchen, right? The things that we are using in our bedroom are kept in the bedroom, and the things which are needed in the study room, all the books, stationery items, table, chair, we are keeping in the study room. So you will be able to easily identify the things and you can use them, right? So that is why we do this material or the we need to sort the things, right? And according to the physical properties. So let's recall what we have learned in this chapter. The substance used to make an object is called material. Luster, hardness, solubility, flotation, transparencies are some common properties of the materials. We find that salt, sugar and soda form a clear solution with water. So we can say these materials, soda, salt and sugar, are soluble in water, while the chalk and the sand are insoluble in water, right? Heavy objects sink in water, whereas light object floats on water, right? So let's do the question answers. Name a non-metal that has luster. So can you tell me the answer of this question? We have studied the non-metal which has the luster. It is diamond. Correct answer is diamond. Now, next is how do we call a substance that is used to make a object? It is called material. Very good answers. Name any two physical properties of materials. We have learned around 6 to 7 properties, right? So you can write down any property out of it, like it is hardness, softness, transparency, floating, sinking, right? Name two physical. We have already done this. In a blue colored solution of a dye and water, which is solute and which is solvent. So water is solvent and the dye is solute. Name any two liquid miscible with Water miscible means it is dissolved completely. You cannot identify it is liquids, but you need to tell the liquids. Liquids like vinegar, we have talked about vinegar. Vinegar is completely visible in water and soda, right? So name any two translucent materials. Translucent materials can be like plastic sheets. Some plastic allow you to see through it completely. Some are translucent. The frosted glass, right? Name four substances which float and sink in water. You need to give four example of it. Sink, the sand will sink, the nail will sink, stone will sink, right? These are heavier than water. If you put any, like, will put keys into water, it will again sink. So the materials that can float on water is the chalk powder, it is floating on water, right? Dried leaves will float on water, oil will float on water, right? So these are some examples. So next question is, what are two types of materials? We have studied the living and the non-living, right? Now, why is the classification important? Classification is important so that we can easily locate the things around us, or we can sort them easily. So that's all for this chapter. Stay excited for the clamp of another videos. Till then, take very good care of your health, right? And healthy eating. Bye, students. Take care.